and welcome back to a new video. Today I'm turning the Radiance into a Lightbox. This boss has been on my list of Lightbox ideas for a while, so it's about time that I do it. I had multiple options for the background and I wasn't sure which one I wanted to do, so I put up a poll on Instagram and YouTube, and this background here, this is what won. So yeah. It is the simplest of the background, so I was kind of surprised it got picked, but let's just get into it. Since it's all pretty simple, I chose to start with the most simple part, these spikes in the background. There are two layers of them, one in the background and one that's kind of in the foreground. They end up framing the whole lightbox very nicely. Other than that, I don't really know what their purpose could be in the game. The only thing I can think of is that they could be the horns of the Black Egg Temple, but that doesn't seem very likely since this whole fight takes place inside the mind of the Hollow Knight. And now it's time to move on to the rest of the background, which is just a bunch of fluffy clouds. I got started with this one layer here that goes between the spikes, and then I took a detour and started on one of the two Dreamcatcher particles that float in the background. I struggled a little bit with the design, trying to get everything pretty symmetrical and even. I didn't bother drawing or cutting the whole shape because only a little corner shows in the image. And I expected it to be tricky to cut out, but surprisingly it was quite easy. Once that was done, I decided to work on the main Dreamcatcher and also the Radiance's attack, the bright glowing sword-like things that are behind her that shoot out at you. To start, I used my bottle to mark out the center circle and then mapped out everything else around that. The design is 4 big swords in the shape of a cross, and then between each big sword are 2 smaller swords spaced out evenly. And just like with the other one, I thought it would be difficult to cut out, but it turned out to be pretty easy. Up next were a couple easy layers, these 2 platforms in the background and another layer of clouds. And now onto the main focal point of this lightbox, the Radiance. The Radiance is the main boss of the game, so there's a lot of backstory. So in the game, before everything is the way it is, Hollow Nest wasn't a kingdom. It consisted of different tribes and villages of bugs just doing their own thing. There was a tribe of moths that worshipped a god, aka the Radiance. The radiance was like a giant lamp to them that shined brightly, and then one day a bug came into everyone's lives and decided to make Hollownest his kingdom. He became the king and is known as the Pale King, and many bugs started worshipping him, including the moths, who started to forget the radiance, and then she ended up getting weaker and weaker until she basically didn't exist anymore. Fast forward a long time, and she somehow started coming back in the form of an infection in the mind of some bugs. Basically, she made everyone act like a zombie, which obviously wasn't good, so the king decided to stop her. And long story short, he trapped her inside the Hollow Knight and locked her away. And in the game, once you do all the right things and you go and you enter the Black Egg Temple and you go fight the Hollow Knight and you enter his mind and you fight and defeat the Radiance forever. And that is the fight that I did this Lightbox from, yeah. Once I finished cutting out the Radiance, I drew and I cut out the Knight on the main platform. It went pretty smoothly and the Knight turned out good. Then I drew and cut out the second Dreamcatcher. This one is bigger and more of it shows, so it was slightly more work, but still easy. And after another layer of clouds, I had all the base layers done. However, I thought it wasn't detailed enough, so I decided to add kind of like shading by layering paper behind certain parts to make them darker. I did this first to the spikes, adding shadows to the bottom side of them. And then the same thing onto all the platforms. And finally onto the Radiance. I wanted to add dimension to the wings, so for the feathers that are in the back, I added another piece of cardstock to make it dark. Then I wanted more shading, but not as dark, so I found some thin sketching paper, which is way thinner, and I used that for shading the legs and more of the wings, and I was really happy with how that looked. It added an extra dimension. And after fixing up some things and adding little details, it was done. And then I assembled all the layers together. Then I found the box, and here it is all done, and I'm really happy with it. I really think that adding all the shading with the paper really helps add the dimension and extra depth. That just makes it look so much better. I wish I would have done this for all my light boxes, so I'll probably start doing this to all my light boxes from now on. So yeah, let me know what you think, and if you enjoyed, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!